Alright everyone, Cowboy Trades here, welcome back to the channel for another update. So the CPI data just came out, we just found out that headline inflation is dropping, core inflation is rising, and sticky inflation still persists with the CPI Index actually heading up. Now let's dive into all of this and more. On a year-over-year basis, the CPI did drop actually lower than forecast. We were previously clocking in at 6% for headline CPI year-over-year. Forecast to drop down to 5.2%, and we actually dropped an entire percentage point down to 5%. So CPI on the headline year over year is definitely dropping. Do bear in mind this is on a year over year index. If we are looking at month over month, we are still seeing inflation there. We have had a 0.1% increase in the month over month for the US CPI headline inflation, which also means, of course, if we've got month over month inflation heading up while the year over year is heading down, this is going to correlate to an increase in the actual CPI index. Now, this index here is not covered as much as the actual year-over-year index. This index doesn't look at year-over-year. This simply shows you the actual consumer price index. And as you can see, with this most recent data point that we had in March, we have ticked up to 301.84, which is an all-time high in terms of the US consumer price index inflation. So once again, a lot of people are talking about the year-over-year heading down. This is of course good. This is what the Fed wants to see. However, the index itself is still up very, very high, and inflation has not yet fully persisted. If we do go back to the past 25 years of trading history, in 2008, it actually took the CPI index coming down before the Fed was able to pivot. So while the year-over-year index is coming down right now, month over month is still itching up, pushing the CPI index up to new all-time highs. And because of this, it doesn't look like the target rate probabilities for the May the 3rd FOMC meeting have shifted whatsoever. It's still looking extremely likely, 75% right now, that we are going to get another 25 basis point increase in the May meeting. Now, coming over to the US core CPI year over year, this is actually pushed up to 5.6%, exactly as forecast. Now, in the previous month, this was at 5.5%. So we still do have US core CPI pushing up, and core inflation right now is very much persisting. If we come over to the month over month for core CPI, you can see this has had another increase of 0.4%. You can see inflation in the core CPI is very, very sticky right now. So what's interesting about this is actually something we discussed in yesterday's video when we were talking about Bitcoin breaking the 30,000 mark. That is that with the CPI data coming out today, we have headline inflation coming down to 5% and US core CPI coming up to 5.6%. So right now, core CPI is actually higher than headline CPI. Now, this doesn't happen too often. This is really a sign that inflation is becoming extremely sticky. And of course, the Fed loves to look at what's happening with the core CPI right now. So while headline CPI is coming down, the Fed is going to be predominantly looking at job market data and of course the US core CPI, which is still at extremely elevated levels. So this is why when we come over to the sticky price CPI index, looking at the sticky CPI, this has come down very slightly. The February reading was 6.7%. We're currently sitting at 6.6%, so not really too much of a move. Inflation is really being sticky round about this 6.5 to 6.7% region. In fact, since September of 2022, if we look at core sticky CPI is pretty much exactly following the sticky CPI. So looking at these right now since September, sticky CPI has been at 6.5%, with core sticky CPI being at 6.4%, and right now with the March reading a whole 6 months later, we really haven't moved too much whatsoever. We're very slightly up in the past 6 months, up at 6.6% for the sticky CPI and up at 6.5% for core sticky CPI. Once again, core sticky CPI has dropped 0.1% and sticky CPI has dropped 0.1% in the month of March. But as you can see, we're really remaining sticky around these levels since September of 2022. So that's all I've got for you for this video. As always, make sure to come and follow me over on Twitter. I do post the CPI data ahead of recording these videos. So if you do want to be privy of this, the moment it comes out, then once again, be sure to head over to my Twitter at 618_cowboy. I do also want to get a TA update out a little bit later today, but I will include these in separate videos. So for today, my friends, that's all I've got. If you do enjoy my content, as always, always, let me know down below by leaving a like and a comment, share the videos with your friends. If you want to further support the channel, feel free to click the join button and become a member today. Follow me over on Twitter. Make sure to come and join the Discord. If you head over to my YouTube channel and click on the About section, you can see all of my official links for Twitter, Discord, my Instagram, and my merch store are all down below. I'll leave it here. See you in the TA update. It's been your boy Cowboy Trades. I'm out. Peace.